All right, we back part two with Bim from Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam. She's dropping knowledge right now. Um, we're talking about the contemporary world and the street dance world and kind of the mindsets and approaches on movement. And it's really cool to see the contrast in these things and also what we can gain from the mentality and the way things are taught in these other dance cultures. I think it's something super important. We got to really take note. Um, it's crazy to do these interviews because I've been interviewing about the history and OGs, and then there's also this other end where we're talking about just ideas and movement. So yeah, all right, here's Bim. Yeah, we back.
Yep.
So it's a trip, bro. Like to think about how people first learn movement, it kind of in the organic street form way, and
hmm
how things, a longer history of like things like ballet or contemporary and stuff, how they've been taught. And do you feel like you're trying to, or have you found like an optimal way of learning movement?
Um, like I say, I'm going like a mountain, right? I go back to like the core foundation of just movement. Can you hear me well?
Yeah, yeah, you're good.
Okay, and also going to specific style. And right now, I mean, popping is always my home, right? It's where I started, and I obsessed with it of how is how crazy it is. But the mindset I approach it, it might be different. So I I I, I go with popping with the technique side of it and some of the aesthetic side of it, but the mentality of it I might take from different sources. So like you
Mm.
say, I take from multiple sources, and yeah, because I just feel like my story is different. Where I come from is different. I look different. I eat different. I cannot force myself to fit in that room that already so many fights. I mean, I can back and forth to just to experience, but ultimately I want to leave. I want to I want to dance that it worth my time living, you know? I don't want
Mm.
to dying busy stressful about am I doing it right or wrong. I was the community give me pressure to be honest to being doing yes and yeah also like the name I gave you about the person who doing memorized improvisation is Trisha Brown.
Oh, Trisha Brown.
Yeah, Isadora Duncan. She's the mother of modern dance. She breaks all the rule of ballet and adding like natural gesture in it, but she's not the one
Mm.
doing improvise
Okay, got
and
you.
try to memorize. Yeah, yes, okay, yes, that's what I think. Like, but ultimately you want to do everything in a respectful way. Like I learned popping, I can the history demonstrate all the foundation. And that's like you say. That's why That's when I go to school. So, but when I get back home and I'm living my life, I'm not. I have to be myself.
Yeah.
I have to be myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get questions every day, man, about, the kind of what you're talking about is the stress of, trying to fit in or trying to do something right or and it's tough, man. I've seen also throughout my time with dance, so many people stop dancing because of that same thing. There's not many people that can survive that stress of the community that's like forcing that reality on you. Because I think a lot of people that are driven to this culture are just like you, where you want to create. And
Yeah.
um, yeah, and right now we're kind of just creating within these like certain boxes and definitions and words that we've created to kind of describe movement. And then we talk about like what is foundation, and we gotta like, you know, for me, it's like I tell the stories, I tell the history, I show the move, how it was done, how it could be done, how you might be able to explore with this movement. But ultimately, what we're trying to do here is like I think when you talk about creativity, it's like we're trying to just like be in our imagination.
Yeah.
So it's like what William Forsythe would do with the shadow figures and coming out and coming back. You're in another realm. You're looking at your body. Like the ability to imagine that uh,
Mm-hmm.
makes you move completely different. But we're not so concerned. There's oh, this is it. So like we're so concerned with the aesthetics of how we look
Mm.
that we are forgetting to experience the movement that we're doing.
That's
Um,
not a boundary. That's not a wall.
yeah,
That's stopping us to be free. I feel like as an artist, we have the luxury to being free more than other person, the guy doing
Mhm.
at the store or something like that. We have the luxury to choose to be free, and people can visible seeing us being free. You know what? So be as free as you can. An artist is like being free, being sarcastic, be ironic, being opposite, being just being free.
Yeah,
Because I like to doing something like opposite. Yeah, it's just a remind myself like you in control of your body, and you quite free. Just let yourself free because as long as they cannot hurt you, you free.
yeah,
So
yeah. So like when you say that, I was just thinking about how I feel about battles and competitions and stuff. Uh, and even when it comes to any type of performing or something, you confront that issue like face to face. Uh, and when it comes to battles, like they're not bad or good. It's really like how you approach it mentally.
mhm,
So uh, if the hard part is though is that we have these competitions that are kind of defined by a word, and
mm,
so we have to hold ourselves to a standard when we're dancing. So I think that's partly what I feel sometimes when I get down is like popping wasn't always something that I wanted to do. Like to always hit felt like restricting, you know, but but the the closest word for the movement that I do is that.
mm,
So now I have to like, especially when I enter battles, or say someone tries me out for a workshop or something, I have to go by its word, uh,
mm.
and that's kind of it's tough. It's tough to deal with. So like when you enter a battle, how do you approach that? How do you free up your mind in that situation?
Myself, I'm not good at battling. I'm never. I convinced myself to be I'm a good battler for so long. I was like, you know what? You have to battle because it's a street dance culture. You know what? You're a part of it. You like it, right? You like it. You have to battle. How can you don't like battle? And right now, to be honest, I took battle really lightly. It's just like a test. It's something that I can put in my agenda so I can have a better structure in my practice.
Mm.
You know what? And no one can mess with me, because I'm doing my own thing that's good for myself. If
Yeah,
they
yeah,
don't,
yeah.
and but I like it because of it's a good environment to test yourself. Because
Yeah.
I live in an area, my family grow up peacefully. My family have money to take care of me. I don't have any. I'm not growing up in hatred. My neighborhood is safe and sound. I, I don't have anything to prove that I have some anger in my life or anything like that. So everything I'm trying to do is gonna be fake, and that's the last thing I wanted to do. You
Yeah.
know. So uh, it's just a game. I enter a game and testing my what I can do in that 45 seconds.
Yeah.
But
45 seconds.
so it's weird, for so long. Yeah, for everybody, winning a battle give you some like some check mark that you feel like you improve, but actually, it's it's not really. It's just a little small. Uh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just the hard part is when you become successful at battling. This is something I struggled with a lot.
Mm.
Is that when you start to win battles, I started winning battles pretty early, and I started to define myself by what I was
Mm.
perceived as good at, you know?
Mm.
So I think that's what happens in a lot of our lives, like whether it's dance or not, is we start to define ourselves by the the acceptance or the affirmation we get from others, and like, yo, you're good at this, and then you're like, well, I guess I'm a popper then, I won a popping battle, I guess I'm a popper, and then you get sucked into the validation cycle where there's like always a carrot that's hanging in front of your face and you're just trying to grab it,
Yeah.
but you
Shit.
realize that that carrot is really it's just in your imagination, it's
It's
not
crazy.
it's not a real, like, even when you catch that carrot, there's another carrot that just drops down in front of you.
That's crazy. That's crazy. I feel you. You know what? I win the contest that proving I'm the most famous dancer in the whole country, right?
Mm.
Certain you can dance, 2013, and I don't feel like I'm success at
Mm.
all. My Facebook got hacked. I lost about 50,000 followers. I don't even care. I
Wow.
created a new one, and it's just for my family.
Uh,
The feeling of like you not actually happy with your craft. You're not actually feeling you are living like your life. Is so you don't want to exchange it with some winning. And I'm being so much contests. Like right after that show, I was like, why I don't feel like I'm success? So I keep winning some Asian in Malaysia. We're doing competition, team battle. We're doing a lot, and I feel like, oh, and you know what? I'm tired of proving. I'm tired of just forcing myself like this. Just take a break, and just yeah, just being a human first. To because all the goal is good, but I don't take it like my I have to do it because I'll never be happy. If I feel like I go to that goal, I'm going to be happy. I'm going to put another goal because I feel like I might be happier with another goal. And not
mm.
just all my life is reaching goal and reaching happiness. And You know what? Is I don't know. For me, it's not working. So I have to change the way I practice, the way I look at dance, the way I'm dressed, the way I cut my hair. Just I you know just the experience. I don't know who I'm gonna become. I don't know, but so far I'm less stressed.
Yeah, I think that's man, that's a beautiful story. It's hard, man, to reevaluate yourself. I felt like I was stuck for years, man, honestly, like just feeling like one, I kind of made myself a trap. I defined myself as a word, or I had an idea of what I was based off of other people's expectations, and um, you forget you have choices. Like the world is much bigger than words. The world, you just see the world in a certain way, but you realize like you have to step back and realize, okay, are you happy?
Yeah.
And will you continue to be happy doing what you're doing? And I started to realize that when I was like, um, I think it was probably around Vietnam time that I started to feel like that this maybe this pursuit that I had been pursuing for years, like this kind of dream that I had when I started, I got much further than I ever thought I would, where I was like,
Mm,
I was just obsessed, like I just loved the illusion of dance, and I just kept
mm,
practicing. And I was a good practitioner, like I was good at putting in the work, and I knew the right people to ask the right
mm,
questions and that type of stuff. And then when I got to a place where I was like, man, people think I'm good. I'm like, well, I still don't feel good. Uh,
mm.
and now I'm starting to get to the level where there's these big battles and I'm getting invited and stuff. And I was like, but the experience of the battle was so nerve-wracking. It was so like so much anxiety. So it was like a life or death situation. And then now I gotta dance. It's like you're looking at yourself like yeah, like this is a life or death situation, and then the DJ drops the beat and you're like, okay, hold up. Then I had to go through all these like, I would study meditation, Eastern philosophy. So I would be always able, like, okay, whenever I was successful in a battle, I was able to trick my mind into believing a certain philosophy. I could attach to it. I could be like,
Mm,
oh, this is a moment in time in this big picture, and like,
mm,
okay, now I'm free. Okay, let's go.
mm, mm.
But then when the expectations started to rise more, it became more and more difficult to access that peaceful, free place. Um,
Mm,
and I think, at that point, my instinct was to just keep pushing harder.
yeah,
And
yeah,
that is not always the approach to really just like you meet resistance, and my instinct is like, let's go, like push
mm,
into it. But sometimes it like to step back and view the problem, like
mm,
there can just be a way around it. There can be another path. There can be other options rather than going full force into this problem that you're encountering over and over again.
yeah. I feel you, man. That's a tough one. But just take it lightly is my advice
Mm,
because it's not that serious. Like you always say, just dance.
yeah,
So and it's dance for me is so it's basically everything. For in the postmodern era, the perspective about dance is basically every single thing. It's basically stillness can be a dance. You holding a pen is dance, and dance doesn't even need to be with music.
Mm.
Dance can be just for the movement itself, just the movement itself, just just uh experiment movement, playing with your body. So if like that, all the extra stuff, it's just like some different playground, jump around, just finding more fun. It should be
Yeah.
more fun, but yeah.
Yeah, I wrote this poem a while back, and I said something like I always say this quote because I swear it's like this, it's like a theme for my life, but I wrote
Nice.
uh shit, what is it? It's like when it's basically the second part of the line is says when your thoughts become louder than the music.
Mm,
Oh, it said dancing to the sound of people's expectations when thoughts become louder than the music.
nice.
So for me, it was like what you were just saying is like dancing without music. When I started to enter these competitions and stuff later on, because in the beginning it was just play. It was light. It was light. It was much lighter. When you don't have a name, there's only one
Yeah.
way up, you know? So then it becomes like what happens when you battle and you go, you're not connecting with the music is partly because you're dancing to your thoughts. And you're
Mm,
dancing to, and those thoughts can be saying all different types of things, like you're not good
mm,
enough or things like that. So I
mm,
totally agree with you in the sense that, you know, we're not only dancing to the music, we are also
mm.
dancing to our thoughts.
Right.
It's all a dance.
Mm-hmm. That's true, but when I first beginning, if you dance not on music, you are not dancing. That's
Yeah.
how. So it take a while to realize, and yeah, and you know what? I've been exposed to so much community that right now I need to clean up my thought. I take this time to clean up my thought, even clean up my technique because it's just so much. It's just so much. I mean I start with copying like Jabberwockies and those people, and then I'm doing jazz contemporary with UDG, and then I'm doing TV show, and then I go to this school in LA, and I learn about modern dance, and then being performing like abstract contemporary piece. And so I seeing all kind of people, man. And I'm seeing like OG. I'm seeing them. I go to the battle scene, and in the street, and it's so much itself is so much variety already, and like a house community and popping community is so much different. So it's being overwhelming about how people think about dance, and I need to give a meaning for myself. It's kind of hard because I talked to Jordan one time. It's like you don't have any specific re religious,
Mm,
and when you feel like you feel unstable, you don't have anything to lean on. You know, like
mm,
right now, I am the only one that can give the answer for myself. I mean I have some inspiration here and there, but what I'm doing right now, I don't know how I'm gonna look in the next 10 years. I don't have like some people. I don't know about you, but a lot of people in Vietnam or the people I know, they all have like a role model. So they kind of know the idea of how they're looking at if they keep continue doing this exercise and the technique for like the next few years. But what I'm doing is basically I don't know what's gonna come. I'm just keep curious, just keep following my theme.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's there was like a blog that I had back in the day. Actually, when I was in Vietnam, I had this website called the Grass-Fed Robot,
Yep,
and and
that's a good one.
the main thing that I wrote on there was like at the top it was said, "Stay curious, stay fascinated."
Yeah.
And for me, if you can understand like your curiosity, if you can stay curious, you will stay motivated,
Mhm.
because curiosity is a question, and if there's a question and you have a burning inside you for discovery, then you will move. You will move from the place of not knowing to trying to know.
Mhm.
Yeah, so you're in a state of um, discombobulation. You're in a state of non-balance. So this
Mhm.
kind of like dissatisfaction. But that's why I said stay fascinated, is because fascination requires you to like give gratitude to your curiosity.
Yep. But
Yeah.
answer me this question. I have this conflict. So I like where my mind at right now. And everything is not that clear for me right now, but that helped me learn so fast. I'm open to any information without any like kind of filter. So I'm willing to try, physically take my time to think about it, write down. And but also there's a quote saying if you're not standing for anything, you're standing for nothing, right? So
Mhm.
and also it's a thinking about entitlement. When you're entitled that you know these things so well, you stop learning, right? You kind of like block yourself of a lot of information that potentially change the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was like, what is the boundary of being clear of who you are and being a little bit unclear, just keep learning.
Yeah. Yeah, because you want some stability of being clear on who you are, but you
Yeah.
also want to remain open to learning. So, yeah, like I remember I had this discussion with my dad one time, and as you get older, you start to make up your mind in in certain types of ways. And I told him, I asked him, if you claim to know, are you
Mm-hmm.
still open to learn?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the first time I stumbled my dad. Because he's
Yeah, don't
always got
worry.
kind of the he's always got an answer. He's always very analytical,
Mm.
smart guy. But because when you start to claim to know, will you still your mind is no longer open to take in new information,
Yeah.
because you know you hold a truth, right? There's also another quote that says, um, it says, "Don't follow those who claim to have found the truth. Follow those who are seeking it."
Mm.
And I think that mindset, that mentality of saying that truth is can be a truth for now,
Yeah.
and but that does not mean you stop learning.
Mm.
Yeah, because even though like truth, like we are only responsible for what we're able to um, know at the time. Yeah,
Mm.
but things change. Our awareness change. Like, for example, when you felt like you found a secret when you first found those popping videos,
Yeah.
you realize that later on down the road, you're like, dang, well, this has been done since the 70s.
Yep.
And so our awareness is shifting all the time. So I think the curious mind, and also realizing that you are the curiosity,
Mm.
that is the truth. That is the truth. That is who you are as a person. You are the person behind that curiosity. So
That's
that is
crazy.
that is a characteristic to who you are as a person, and
That's crazy.
you're more than that.
Man, that's crazy. So so if people say like who you stand for, like you stand for modern or you stand for popping, like I stand for curiosity.
Yeah, yeah. See, you gotta hit them with something like that.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Well, you can
Yeah.
be like, I stand for, you stand for a lot of things. It's not curiosity. It's not
Yeah.
even, there's no word to describe what you stand for. And
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of all ever changing, but
Mm.
you are you are, for example, a camera. You have a
Mm-hmm.
camera and you have a lens that's on the camera, right?
Yeah.
So we'll just take yeah, like a modern camera. You have a lens, and then inside the lens there is the sensor that's taking in
Mm.
the information of light.
Mm.
So we can put on words are like the lens.
Mm-hmm.
So it puts different things, like certain ones are good at focusing on long distance, some are good at focusing up close.
Nice.
So they are letting in the light and they're taking in the information, and what that's much like our mind, right? Is that our eyes are that lens that's seeing
Yeah.
things and perceiving things, and then what we're doing is we are deciding what information we let hit that sensor. So that is what you are. You are like a processing of information, and you can only speak from what you know at the time.
Yeah.
And knowledge is not a finite thing. It's ever growing.
Mm. I like that one. That's a good analogy. That's crazy.
The camera, man, it's a good one. Because then you can think about, even if you look at the structure of like a camera, you can look at like aperture, right?
Mm.
You can think about like shutter speed. Like when you take a picture of something and how fast that frame rate is how much light is allowed to come in. It's like it's also like your willingness to study. You can start to create like metaphors for that, because like how fast you snap that photo
Mm.
is like how long are you willing to sit there and contemplate what it is that you're hearing or are taking in.
That's dope. That's dope.
Cameras, man, they're dope. Man, there was so much we talked about, bro. I had like a list of things I wanted to ask you, like
Let's keep
you know
asking.
okay, so uh yeah, I mean, we covered a lot of this stuff, but I think what would be really cool is to hear. I mean, we kind of heard your reason on why you wanted to come to the U.S. as far
Yeah.
as learning, but what was that process like of immigration?
Oh. Uh. I mean, in my head at that time, I just think everything like a movie, right? And I was like, I'm that main character going across the world to learn about this thing that I love. So everything is quite beautiful. The harder it is, the more beautiful it is. It's like a movie, right?
Wow,
The more drama, the more people like to watch.
damn, that's
Because
dope. Yeah,
like the more like I was like bike and then the rain, I was like, that's cool, keep raining. That's a nice scene. And I keep bike to school and some people like stole my bike and was like, okay, that's the drama. Okay, that is like the real the real deal happening to the main character. All that stuff happening, and then when the emotional hits, when I'm like, you're kind of like missing the you know your pupil. like I have the struggle with finding my, my surrounding, to finding my little like group. Having a hard time. I feel like I having a, a good life in Vietnam with like really close friend, and my experience in my country was so beautiful that I kind of like uh put that expectation here with that same value over here, and is not working. And I was like, I was like, how can I find a friend here? That was
Mm,
like very, like the food not really struggle me. I'm okay with eating like the food here. I'm okay with the weather. I'm okay with like the language. But like the real people that listen to me and I can share something with them and they can share something with me, I'm having a struggle with that. I need that.
mm,
I need that. I need those moments in my life.
yeah.
And and yeah, it was really hard. It was a lot of yeah, it's a lot of day. I was just like waking up and just like crying and just
Mm,
cry because I was like missing those connection. I was like, I'm feeling so alone here, but
yeah.
everything is fine. Everything, nothing happened. I was like, I need to have those people and can connect with. But I
Yeah.
actually I put myself a boundary. I put myself like, oh, it's never gonna be my friendship with my friend in Vietnam. It's not gonna be like that.
Mm,
They don't even understand. Like I don't even understand what they're talking about. They mentioned about those character in movies, the actor actress name, those songs in the radio. They sing the song together. I don't even know the lyric. How can I having fun with them? I feel very
yeah.
awkward every time. It's just so much to be fun, to be really just relax and be a part of the like the group.
Mm, yeah. That's
I was
um
yeah.
that's like super super important to hear, man. It's you know as when you like it's the same thing as I experienced in Vietnam too. You know,
Mm,
like when you go to these places and you can't speak the language,
mm,
nothing is familiar. You don't have any friends from back home, and yeah, you feel so alone, man, so alone, like even, the 6 months I spent in Vietnam, there was only like, maybe three people I could talk to, four people I could talk to in the entire country.
yeah.
And uh,
Yeah.
I didn't hang out with anybody that spoke English really, besides like in Hanoi, I was with TF Star,
Hmm.
and I hung out with him quite a bit. But then, like in Saigon, it was
Hmm.
like I was staying with Jik, and then I would stay with Pan, and like, and then you, and so then, but it's still not. It's not the same as being able to like bullshit with your friends, like talk
Uh,
about the movies or whatever. Uh,
yeah.
and that even your like for me, like the people that spoke English, it was still kind of like broken English too.
Yeah.
So you lack the deepness that you're talking about.
Hmm.
And so it also, I think, like for me, it really made me empathize with people that came here too, what they
Yeah.
go through. And I think you start to realize who you are when you start to go to these other places because I didn't know what it was like to be different until I left my home.
Yeah, man. And I start to realize the benefit of being different too. I
Mm,
start to look at it as a positive way too, because there's so many thing that just engraved in my brain as a Vietnamese human being. It's just like I was like, why people think in this way, but I think in this way because talking about culturally, a lot of people trying to express culture with like the food or the traditional outfits of stuff like that, which is a part of it, but it's also about the character, like the personality of that type of ethnicity. Like
Mm.
Vietnamese people, we have that spiritual kind of like mentality, have a super respectful way when we talk. Like if you just 1 years old older than me, I would totally respect you. The way I say your name, the way I give you with two hands, and it's just not an action. It's gonna go with this. I carry that with everything I do, and I learned to like add an extra word when I talk to people that I respect. Um, at the end or at the beginning of the sentence, like and I was like, here's the lack of it, and I start to make comparison, and I start to learn, and I start to see the good and the bad in my community and in this community, and it's interesting. It's very
Can you
interesting.
give us an example of like a word that you would say to somebody, like a sentence you would say to somebody younger and a sentence you would say to someone older?
So if someone older, I'm gonna add "ah" at the end.
Uh,
So if I say thank you, it's cảm ơn, right? I have to say cảm ơn ạ, cảm ơn
yeah.
anh ạ. Anh
Uh,
is you, right? You older than me. Cảm ơn anh ạ.
uh,
So you have to add that. And when you like when I give something, when I live here at my wife's house, I always give things with two hands with my mother-in-law, and
yeah.
she thought I cannot hold the stuff. I'm afraid to fall. I was, but even the pen and the
Yeah.
pen, I need to give it to her.
Yeah. Damn,
And
that's so crazy, bro. She thought you couldn't hold something.
he was like, "Why are you doing that? Is your hand too
Yeah.
shaky?" I said,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. And like even when you eat, you always have to start like it's a different term, but it's like enjoy your meal. Let's eat together before you eat. Do not just sit down and eat. We say it and we wait for the elder eat and then you eat. And it's just when we were like kid, we taught to be like that.
Yeah,
And
say a little bit more say a little bit more in Vietnamese so people can hear the language. I think it's super important because you know a lot of times when we're even in LA it's so diverse, right?
hmm
But you hear somebody speak a different language, but you block them out of your reality.
yeah,
Yeah, I think that's like so when you like when I would go to Vietnam and I was like I start to try and understand like what a word means or something like that. And uh, like then when I came back to LA, when I would hear Vietnamese, I was like, oh man, like I got like a warm feeling inside, you know?
mm,
So like if you were gonna say
the warm feeling. That's crazy, man. People
yeah,
here when I first came here the first year, I was like, people are so cold.
uh
How can you talk to your dad with just name? I
uh
never say my dad's name. I
mm,
just say his name. No, I never say his name. I just said dad, father. That's how I talk to him. Ba, bố ơi bố, cho con mượn cái này. That's for example. I never say son is my dad name. Son, give me this. Hi, son. Like it's gonna be so disrespect. I can't even imagine I doing that.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah. And I think like
yeah.
I never use my dad's name either. So
But like even yeah, I mean it's happening here.
yeah,
I
sometimes yeah, sometimes. It's
man,
cold.
I was pretty cool and it was like I don't know. It just even I just feel warmer with my language. I feel like
Mm.
uh feel the welcoming. I don't know. It's because it's a bias that I understand, or it just when I just translate straight from English to Vietnam, it actually sound cold.
Yeah. Yeah, there's certain things that I realized that I started to do after Vietnam and also like just traveling around Asia.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a certain respect and a certain like heartfeltness. Like I felt like it changed me as a person. Like when I say like I'll even like bow and like really
Mm-hmm.
I feel like a sense of like respect, or like I'll even put my hand over my heart or something like that when
Mm-hmm.
I say bye, like yo, much respect, like, and bow
Mm-hmm.
my head, like. And it's not directly from like Vietnamese culture, but the idea of like
Yeah.
a respect is something I really I think I took away from there.
Yeah. So that was at first I take it quite personal. When I came here, I lived with my house owner, and I was like, "Why are you so mean to me?"
Mm.
I don't remember how she taught. I don't remember what content, but it's just less sweet. And I was like, is she mean to me, or I'm just too soft? And I was like, I need to man up, and stuff like that. And it's weird. I have a lot of questions, and
Yeah.
and it's kind of all the link up with how I think about dance is the word right now.
Mm. Yeah, the language in Vietnam is something I super struggled with, you know? Uh,
It's crazy.
like like the pronunciation of the words, the accents,
Mm,
the pitch, the tone change is so much different than English. And as much as it was like I can't imagine like that's something I really admire about you too, is like even MT is like, wow, your guys' English, bro, got so good. And I'm like, dude, I don't even know if I stayed in Vietnam if my Vietnamese would be better by now.
yeah, it's a hard language. It's a hard language. They have
Yeah.
a Yeah, it's a lot of word that they take from French. They take some words take from Chinese. A lot of words from Chinese, and yeah, it's really, yeah. Like
Yeah.
Yasmin is already avoiding learning Vietnamese. It's too hard. Yeah.
Yeah. Because like even like if I say 1 through 5, right? Một
Hmm.
hai ba. Wait, một hai ba. Fuck, I forgot already. Một hai ba bốn năm.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
okay, now you say it. You say it.
Một, hai, ba, bốn, năm.
See, my tone is like there is no tone there, even when I say it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like when I would say it, like even like for example, how much is that? Bao nu tien.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like you say it, it's like
Bao nhiêu tiền?
yeah, bao
Bao
nu
nhiêu tiền?
tien.
Is more, I don't know. I don't know what to say. It's have some. I mean, of course, it's different. The sound is different, but
Yeah,
yeah.
so like if I said that to somebody in Vietnamese, they wouldn't understand me.
No, they understand for sure.
They would?
Yeah,
People
they
always
understand.
look at me like
Yeah, they would understand, but they might need to repeat like a few times. Yeah,
yeah.
but they would understand.
But if I point and I say Bao Nu Tien, they would be like, okay.
Yeah, for sure. They should understand that.
Like, oh, okay, silly white boy, come here.
It is crazy. Now I think about it, and I feel like the language, it actually, from some certain percent, it kind of built your personality.
Hmm.
Like the way the language is are using, like even maybe Thailand, the way they're using is more like more, I don't know, different. In Vietnam, I feel like the warmness, like
Mm.
it make me feel warm. It make it Everything is very respectable, and everything is they have a little extra in the front or at the end ex to highlight your intention,
Yeah.
and you guys don't have it here.
Yeah, there's something about Vietnamese culture too. Like, you guys, to me, when I went there, and I was just, there was a certain energy. One, it was us, like, it was almost like the respect that we commonly see as Japanese, right?
Yeah,
Like that amount of like respect. But then you had there was like an essence of party, like social aspect to it. So
yeah,
it was like respectful, conservative, but at the same time, everybody can like just be super friendly and fun together.
yeah.
Yeah.
They just have so much inner joke that it's just the whole country know about it. Like they
Mhm.
just it's I don't know, everything spread out so fast there. Maybe it's a small country, but this there's some term that you can say and everybody can understand. And yeah, it's just crazy. Even the word yes, right? Yes. If I say it in the respectful way, it can be yeah. It can be vâng. It can be ah. And it can be put that together. It can be like super respectful ways. Yeah, vâng ạ. So it's had like people
Wow.
making so yeah vâng ạ. It's just like yes, 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 like super respectful way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Like you're about to get arrested and you're like, no.
Yeah, but people using that just with elder, like
Ah,
with your grandpa, like super, like people like maybe like 20 years old gap with you, like,
yeah, man.
and it's
Yeah,
blow me out. Like I like the beautiful of here is your friend can be like 10 years or older than you,
yeah, yeah,
and I
yeah.
was like, that is. At first, I was like, that's weird. You cannot making
Uh,
fun of him like that. You cannot making fun of him. He's older than you. What are you talking about?
yeah.
And in Vietnam, you're not gonna making fun of people just 2 years or older than you. You have
Wow.
to be like super close to that person.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think you can't make fun of an older person in Vietnam?
I just taught to be like that. I mean, it's just like when they ask how old are you, and he say like I'm 24, right? That person is like 26, 27. I just feel like they have more year in life. They educate more than me. That's my
Uh,
first instinct thought because I was growing to be like that. But
yeah,
here, like Yasmin be friend with like a people like 10 years old older than her, and she just
yeah,
calling
yeah.
name, or like I was like, I'm never gonna tell name. It's gonna be An, or chị, right?
Mm,
It's a boy, or a man, or a lady older than me. It's An, chị. It have to be clear. If you're
yeah.
not, they might say you very your parents need to teach you again.
Oh, dang.
Yeah,
Dang. Yeah,
yeah,
that's nuts, man. Yeah, because I mean, it's funny. Like, if I had just share my perspective of how things are here, it would be like, yo, I know a lot of older people that are not educated or not, you know, they're
yeah,
not more educated, or some older people they're assholes too, right? That's like,
yeah.
but then in Vietnam, it's like, nah, nah, nah,
No,
it doesn't fly that way.
it's crazy. If even I put myself in a situation that older people doing some bad thing toward me, I still using uh respectful word. I
Hmm.
still need to use like I still have to use that. I don't know the way to. It just feel awkward to just saying name.
Yeah, yeah. It's kind of how we use the word little bro, big bro, this
Oh
type
yeah.
of term too, like when I call like somebody like my brother, it's like that's like a term of endearment, like their
Mm,
family.
yeah,
Uh,
I see
and I
that.
don't I don't use that with everybody, but
Hmm.
it's something that I think about. Oh shit, there's a raccoon on the roof.
Oh,
Yeah.
what?
I was like, there's an animal outside. But yeah, so that's crazy, man. The immigration. in that story, like to feel alone and isolated, when did that start to feel like it kind of wore off, or like you started to feel more comfortable?
It's just a practice to strengthen yourself and your mind by just keep spending time with yourself and asking questions. The why you start this, and
Mm,
also the and also it's better when I met Yasmin, you know. So I literally have to meet a person that I can be myself.
mm,
So it's still going back to like you still have to meet a person. Like I need that. I don't know any human need that, but I need that. I
mm.
need the person that I can feel home, and it's
Yeah,
so important for me. Like I think when you talk about like the definition of home is something really complex. And right
yeah.
now, and it's crazy too. That's this one time. I think one of my first trip to Vietnam, I was frustrated because I just think about all the expectation of going
Mm,
to the US and you being meeting those people and then you going back, right? What you gonna look like? But right now, I need to understand that um, to be able to grow, you can grow anywhere, right? If you, it's a lot about how you think. Like
yeah,
if you unlock your curiosity and you're willing to learn, and you don't put excuses in every single thing, you probably still can grow in anywhere.
yeah.
But 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 yeah, I was really stressed at that time. I was like I couldn't even feel my dance. I was forcing all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
I back
you're you're
yeah.
training to the expectations, right?
Yeah, I was the worst. I was the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Was
I
the
back
first time
home.
you went back, was that with Jordan?
Yes,
Yeah. Yeah. So you were
first
bringing Jordan back the first time you returned home too.
I bringing Jordan back. It was a beautiful trip, and also it taught me a lot of lesson, like a lot of
Mhm.
lesson. I'm going back to Vietnam, do all the stuff, open dance intensive for Jordan in like two cities and like 2 3 battle events and travel with him. And then I feel like I didn't spend any time with my family. I
Uh,
was I was so busy to proving that
oh, lost him. Hopefully it'll kick back in at some point. If it Yeah, we'll get Ben back in just a second. Man, this conversation's been great. If y'all, I'll be posting this on YouTube. Also, along with all the other interviews I've been doing, they're all on YouTube. So, yesterday, yeah, Yaya and Playboy Sticks. Yeah, and next week's gonna be crazy, yo. So every week it just seems to be like getting really dope people. So I'm excited to share with y'all. And so on YouTube. All the interviews will be available, and you guys can check that out. I think you can just find it if you type in D-Soul, you'll find my channel. I'm also posting this stuff on Facebook, so you can see it there as well. Yeah, I'm just trying to share this stuff while I got time right now. I'm not working as far as my normal job, so yeah, just trying to really take advantage of this time and connect everybody with my friends. So. Um, oh snap! This one's about to end, so I'll open up another one and see if we can get Vim back in here.